on YouTube? It's Brendan from Market Makers, your home for Wyckoff, Advanced Fibonacci TA, the macro views, the micro views, the news and updates you need, and of course, the most fantastic mustache in the business. Guys, I could not get a video out for you yesterday. I came to visit my daughter in a different city. It's usually a 2-hour drive. Took 4 hours with the ridiculous rainstorm and accidents I had to drive through. Again, being a holiday weekend on the highway. So we got a lot of information to delve into. Guys, if you want to join us in our Discord, the join button underneath this video, 11,000 plus people on the Discord now. Again, we started last June with 12 people. So we are growing. This channel's growing. It's all thanks to you and your support. So do please send these videos out to your friends and family that may be watching some of these other guys with hands on their face that don't know what's happening in the world. We're going to discuss it all today. Telegram link for trade signals is in the video description, as well as SimpleFX and BitGet. SimpleFX, you can trade all these equities markets with a $5,000 bonus utilizing our link, guys. Fantastic platform. And of course, BitGet, the tournament starts today. Okay. At the end of the month, 5 people will win $1,000. Download BitGet, trade your cryptos. Let's jump into this. Guys, I got a notebook. I'm going to go over because I always forget stuff when I make these videos. So Q2 just ended. We are first day Q3. Let's talk about some of the highlights of Q2, and you will understand a common denominator in Q2 that you get from this channel and other channels, but you will not get it from CNBC, which I watch all day, and I needed a drink afterwards because it got the Jameson over my shoulder because it's mind-numbing. Okay, so Dow Jones in Q2. Worst 11 weeks since 1928. We've covered that before. What happened in 1929, guys? The biggest stock market crash. Worst Q2 overall since 2020. Well, what happened in 2020? I don't remember. We're all locked in our house. Something happened. The S&P, the worst 6-month start since 1970. You're hearing this all over now. Worst 6-month start since 1970. Worst Q2 since 2008. What happened in 2008? The great financial crisis, the housing bubble. 13 times the S&P has started minus 20%. That statistic's all over the internet now. It's all over CNBC. And here's what they say. When you average that out, it's roughly once every 5 years. So that's not that big of a deal. The thing is, when you look at it and you look at where the clusters of those starts are, .com, 1980, 1981, you start looking at all of the crashes. That's where these starts were. What happened in 1980, 1981? 13.5% inflation. And if you use today's CPI to measure inflation then, that's 9% inflation. We're at 8.6. The key thing to take away from those worst starts for the S&P, they are clustered around disasters in the country. But if you average it out, then it looks like once every 5 years. And that's not too bad. Let's look at Bitcoin. Worst month on record. You wouldn't know that by the majority of the YouTube channels. Minus 40% in June. So guys, this is very important. So the crypto people are very detached overall, the TA people. You look at Plan B, you look at his $1 million charts, they are detached from the macro view. You guys know, watching this channel, I study market cycles, I study the macro view of the market. This bubble is extremely similar to .com. It was led by tech in both of these bubbles. Now remember this in .com. I was just coming out of high school, and the guy I studied to learn my market cycles from. Here's a free giveaway for you guys. Study Jeremy Grantham. He's on YouTube. You can find interviews he does. He does believe this is just a first leg, just like I believe. Earnings contractions have not happened yet. As a matter of fact, Q3 and Q4 S&P earnings, the analyst consensus is at 11% for each quarter. So they're still predicting further growth this year. They haven't revised next year yet. That's the next shoe to drop. Michael Burry's talking about that now as well, saying, hey, this could almost be halfway done, but you got another leg down. I know we have at least one more leg down, and I do think we'll have 2 more legs down, okay, just based on previous bubble cycles. But just like in .com, to finish my thought, tech led the way. The NASDAQ in a 6-month period went up 50%, okay, 50% in 6 months. Going to this bubble, as you guys know, since the pandemic low from watching this channel, the NASDAQ, the S&P, the Russell, everything went up over 120% in 2 years. In 2 years. Average for the S&P is 10 to 11% a year. You went up 120% in 2 years. An obvious bubble, okay? Parabolic rise in the cryptos as well, and that's something that's constantly missed by people in this TA space. Manufacturing came in today, guys. It was a miss. Shock and surprise because the economy is contracting. So PCE Core, guys, I tweeted about this yesterday. It fell in that mid-range, 6.3, the overall number, from that 6.0 to 6.6, which has been tracking since January. But the key takeaway there, the core was at 4.7%. So that is the highest in almost 4 decades. So that almost guarantees the 0.75 rate hike coming in. Okay, now let's talk about the TA, guys. I want to start off on the S&P really quickly, looking at the macro view here on the weekly time frame. If you take your Gann 45s, I removed all the additional fan lines. Look at the shape you're trading in. Okay, do you see the shape you're trading in? Now you marry this with Wyckoff. Wyckoff and Gann were friends. You ascend it into this. You were in a distribution box, but also in a triangle. Do you see this? So this is where I expect us to trade, and this gives you an idea potentially. Of course, you can utilize fibs as well. This gives you an idea potentially for market movements. As you guys know, a lot of people are asking me, where is this wave B? Where is this wave B on your macro chart? I do think the highest probability for that wave B up is going to be when the S&P comes down and kisses its 200, 233 weekly. Could it pull up from here? Sure, it could. But it would make more sense to come test this as support. That will give you your bull trap, okay? That gives you your bull trap, and you have market dissension coming back down after that. You're trading in a triangle. This is going back to the pandemic low to your all-time high. What I do, guys, in my method is I take the greatest traders of all time, Wyckoff, Gann, Dow with his writings. He never called it Dow theory, by the way. That came after, I think, Robert Ray called it Dow theory. Jesse Livermore. And I take their concepts and I marry it into my concept, and I use fibs. That's really the only difference I have incorporated in how I track these marketplaces. But this is something that you can see, and when you break this triangle is when you'll have that further dissension, okay? That's where you'll get that drop. And like I've told you guys before, and all of the indexes and everything, crypto, everything, it's going back to its pandemic lows. And it doesn't look so crazy now. I've been saying this for months and months, back when we were up here, actually back when we were making our all-time high, but it doesn't look crazy now when you look at the chart, does it? It's not that far away. So this would have you back in that 2400 range, okay? 2400 range on the S&P. So we'll see how this plays out, but this is where our bounce can come from a TA perspective. And of course, could you break out of the triangle? Yeah, you could. And guess what? We're going to trade it on a long if it looks like there's a long to be had anywhere in the smaller time frames. Recently, just long the S&P as one of our trade signals. And guys, by the way, I have to say this because everybody's clamping down, but you guys already know this. It's in our video description as well. Everything is entertainment that I'm saying. This is not financial advice, okay? It's for education purposes only. So this is a triangle. All the indexes are trading this way. The NASDAQ, everything. This is a NASDAQ with the fans. Again, you can see the pandemic lows. Look what it kissed on the pandemic lows, the 200, 233. The NASDAQ is just the S&P about 6.5% away, okay? So that could be where that next rally is. And there's your last kiss, and there's a rally off of it. Now, obviously, this is massively Fed stimulus. But this is where all of this is rolling down to, okay? Your 1-1 angle, if you remove everything from here, you can see it on the NASDAQ as well. This is your 45. This is your 45, okay? Trading in a triangle, guys. This is how you are trading. And when you break that triangle is when you're going to get that further dissension. And this is where you could come down to that last level of support there on that Gann fan, which would put you roughly about 7,000 on the NASDAQ. Okay, you're at 11,000. A lot more pain to come, but you will have rallies in between, and I want that big rally. Now, obviously, the Russell guys, which I think I'm the only person tracking the Russell to Bitcoin on YouTube. They're definitely not doing it on TV, but below the 200, 233, just like Bitcoin, right? Literally in the same spot, both making their all-time high within 48 hours of each other. Let's jump over to Bitcoin, guys. We talked about this yesterday, 2 days ago. Bitcoin losing its support structure could have a double bottom potential here as well, right? With that 17.5. This is a weekly time frame. Looking back on my Gann waves, my projection here for the marketplace. Again, looking for that wave B, guys. These targets have descended because of the deepness of this retracement. And again, the first target is at 32,923. That's a 382 on that fib. I showed you a couple videos ago how to lay these out. And then you have your next target at the 0.5 at 37,667, lining up with the daily 200, 233. Kind of my peak target right here, okay? Kind of my peak target because of those moving averages. To get above that at the 618, you're at 42,411. So that's where I'm looking for that rally. This is when Saylor will feel vindicated. All the permabulls will feel vindicated. And these turn into massive bull traps. That's all they turn into in a descending bear market. You don't even have earnings revisions yet, guys. And we very likely could be trading in a recession, which you will not hear on the TV. Actually, Goldman this past week came out and said, I think they have now a 30 to 40% chance of a recession for next year. Guess what? The Atlanta Fed just updated once again their projected Q2 negative. We were 1.6 negative last quarter, which the Fed had to update. They had it 1.5. Now it's negative 1.6. Very likely we are trading in a recession now. And then you will see earnings revisions come in. Boom, next leg down, guys. The bottom for Bitcoin is not in. We're going to have a big rally, but the bottom is not 12K. I can tell you that right now. It's going a lot lower. So let's look at this. Looking at the daily. Daily, we have our Wyckoff structure. You have your base. You have your ceiling. You can see the market movements here. You're just trading in your range. Here's your whole 55. Look at that, utilizing it as support. Again, if you break that bearish, but we're just in mid-range, guys. Low volume, holiday weekend. Don't expect a lot. Money flow, as you can see, stuck right in the support cloud. So the money flow, the volume weighted RSI, again, a free gift if you guys do join us. You can see that there very clearly as well. Looking at the 8-hour time frame, here is my dragon trade, guys. And this is something we took in the room and in the Telegram. And if you look at the targets, we talked about this in my last video I left you, where I wanted to see this go. And you can measure that B to C to D, trend-based fib, got to the 1618, just like I wanted us to. That is 18,700, okay, the 1618. And we could be making some type of double bottom structure here on the 8-hour, but you got to look at your upside projections for where that could go to. We'll look at that on the 4-hour time frame. It has more candles. Well, it's going to be the same numbers, so we'll just do it here. So we'll go here, base, top, base, 382 at 19,808, 0.5 at 20,076, 618 at 20,345, 1 fib at 21,215. So what does that mean? Well, that means if you have your W here, you see this? You have your W. So you can come up to one of these retracement levels. Again, the 618 most commonly retraced to fib, 20,345. 1 fib up here at 21,215, but you're still in that same range you've been trading in. So really, it's just range volatility where you can do scalps and things like that. You are under resistance here in the money flow, angled down on the 8-hour time frame. The cloud is right on top of you as well. So again, double-edged sword with having low volume, guys. Low volume means the market can be easily manipulated, especially now with crypto being less than a $1 trillion market cap. Just to keep in mind that the S&P, just the S&P lost $9 trillion this year, $9 trillion. Crypto lost just over $2 trillion. That's the size difference of the markets, okay? So crypto's easily manipulated. So with low volume, you can have massive movements, but also you may have no movement because, again, holiday weekend. Looking at the 4-hour time frame for Bitcoin. Bitcoin, you can see our cloud. Now, if you do notice, guys, we do have our weaker cloud structure here, right? We got that weak cloud structure, have that double bottom formation right here. So you could see a move up, but you do have that Gann resistance, just gave you the levels, and you have the cloud. This is a very thin cloud, but I don't anticipate Bitcoin doing anything here, guys. You're not going to see Bitcoin do anything without the markets doing something. Remember, this is a risk asset, and the biggest players that play in this field, that play here, they're telling you this is not the bottom. And that only matters not because their TA is right, but because they control the money flow into the asset. I played you guys clips from Jeffrey Gundlach. Again, Jeffrey Gundlach, Guggenheim Partners, hundreds of billions of dollars they control. Bo said 8K. Mark Mobius, who is a Bitcoin bull, a billionaire investor and trader, says this is not the bottom. These guys are all saying this is not the bottom. I know retail's telling you it's the bottom. I know retail TA's telling you to buy, once in a lifetime opportunity. Michael Saylor just bought more. You will be able to get Bitcoin cheaper than it is today. Of that, I cannot make guarantees. Nothing is certain in life. Very high probability you will be able to get Bitcoin cheaper than it is today. The dot-com bust took 2 years to play out. We're going to have rallies, guys, but this will come back down. I told you sub 10K Bitcoin is what I'm looking at, okay? So until then, we just trade. When I start actually accumulating and buying, I will tell you that. But until then, I am just trading, my friends. Let's look at Bitcoin on the 1 hour. Just basic same stuff here, guys. I mean, you see the double bottoms here, right? But you're not getting a lot of velocity momentum, and actually your money flow is bearish on the 1 hour as well. Can easily change. One thing of note, if you guys do take scalps this weekend and things, watch your 200, 233 on the 1 hour time frame. This has been a killer even on the 1 hour time frame, right? So just be aware of that. You have your targets from the higher time frame that I gave you as well, but just be aware of that 200, 233 because this could easily be a rejection point for you, as it has been all along here in the 1 hour time frame. Jump over to the SPX, guys, and we'll start speeding through this. SPX on the 4 hour is what we want to look at. I don't anticipate a lot of movement today, guys. The key thing I wanted to show you here, because it is a long weekend coming up and because it is a Friday, the key thing I want to show you here is we're staying above the 45, okay? The whole 55 is resistance. Obviously, we broke this. We broke through here and descended. We traded this nice long in the Telegram and in the Discord. So that was a nice move up, and this is where you're at now. And everything's going to kind of bottom out, and I think you're going to see some movements maybe next week. We shall see. Maybe a rise back up, which would be fantastic, because we already got rejected by a single kiss from the 200 and 233 here on the 4 hour time frame. So you could see something like that. Again, double bottom type structure. Okay, so watching this, and we'll see what happens. And let's look at the NASDAQ. What do we got on the 8 hour? 8 hours, a good time frame here. Money flow is positive, but it's still in the bearish territory. I guess I should say it's coming up from the bottom, but you're under your EMA, haven't crossed the median line, below your whole 55, below your 45 angle here in GAN, right? Below your 45, you try to wick above it, got rejected. These are my GAN levels here as well. You guys know I love zigzag lines. The zigzag basically gave you a trading box. Look how accurate this box was so far. I love confluence with indicators and trading heavily in volume, guys. And as you guys can see on my screen, I did predict all the volume divergence on the indexes. Go back a few videos. I told you these rallies would all fail. I made that video fade all the rallies. I'll let you know, but look at the volume. I mean, this is maximum. I can't get the indicator any bigger, okay? So, I mean, this is how small the volume is, and this is normalized bars, these green bars. This is how small the volume is. So if we see this rise back up again, just like this, and volume is low, guys, you can have volume divergence, but volume is a leading indicator in the market. Most indicators people trade with, moving averages, they are lagging indicators. Volume is the buying and selling in the market. Wyckoff did a study on volume. He popularized volume studies, famously volume spread analysis, volume price analysis. All these are derivatives off of Wyckoff's work on volume, okay? So it's so important to understand that it's the strongest divergence you can have in the marketplace is volume divergence, and you can always get price rises from it. I updated my Chrome, guys, so you tell me what this is. I don't know. This does this randomly. And sometimes it resets my chart, and I get all my pop-outs that come back out, so it's really frustrating. I know I got to switch browsers. Do you see how many charts I have open? I'm not too keen on having to change everything. I don't like change. And looking at the NASDAQ on the 4 hour, again, below the 45. So this is something that you got to pay attention to. We'll see what happens next week. And there's your 200, 233, obviously getting rejected from that. Okay. That's not news to you guys that watch this channel. Let's look at the Russell on the 4 hour. So I like my Donchian channel trading as well. We're near the bottom here of the Donchian channel. We could be building some type of double bottom within the 4 hour time frame here, and you have a larger, of course, double bottom here as well, right? This is your first bottom, your second bottom. And again, looking at my zigzag lines for trading, the 45 angle below the whole 55. I know this chart's noisy, but the 618-1701 has been holding really strong. This is a short we took in the Telegram and in the Discord that's captured a great 2.5% move down. Again, leverage, as my British friends say. Trade that with leverage. This is a fantastic move on the index, and you can trade that on Simple FX. All right, guys, that's about 19 minutes. I'm going to wrap this video up. I'll probably do another video tomorrow anyway. So I'll wrap this video up. I'll let you guys do some type of special video for this long weekend for you guys. I'll figure out what I want to do. And guys, be safe. Don't drink too much. Don't party too much. And I'll see you guys all here next video. My Starlink satellite is being sent. I'm so excited. It's high-speed internet. I got the business class. I can get up to 500 megabytes per second. So when I'm at my ranch, we can start doing live streams, guys. We can start doing live streams and cover some material. Really excited about that. Be safe, guys. Talk soon.